Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something special. We're calling it the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. We're looking at the sort of strategic heart of one of rugby's most iconic teams. We've got this really fascinating opinion piece proposing a pretty unique vision, our mission. Unpack this audacious idea, give you a shortcut to understanding some top-level rugby thinking. And hey, if you're as obsessed with rugby as we are, you want more analysis like this, make sure you hit subscribe for Rugby Obsession right now. Don't miss out.
Yeah, it's a great chance to really dig into how different rugby philosophies, things we often see as opposites, might actually, blend together. We're talking Barbarians, flair personified, and the Springboks, known for sheer power. And exploring this idea that maybe, just maybe, you can have both brute force and captivating entertainment.
Exactly. And the core of our dive today, it really centers on that classic rugby question. Can you really have breathtaking beauty alongside, uncompromising brutality, especially at the very top level? Our main source today, this article by Jan de Koning from June 23rd, 2025, called the BaaBaa Boks. It takes a pretty radical stab at answering that for the Springboks. It sets up this fascinating cultural showdown. You've got the Barbarians, all about fun, like the article says. Open, attacking rugby, just a joy to watch, usually. Then the Springboks. For them, victory is at a premium, built on physicality, dominance, that relentless focus on the win. You know the narrative. Flair versus Fortress.
And what's really interesting here isn't just stating that clash, everyone sort of knows that. It's the proposed solution for when these two ideas meet conceptually, in Cape Town. De Koning suggests a way for South Africa to kick off their international season winning, yes, but also really entertaining the crowd, maybe setting a new tone. It raises a big question, one for you listening to think about too. Can a team truly be both brutally effective and wonderfully entertaining? Especially internationally. It often feels like an either a choice, doesn't it? But this piece suggests, maybe quite bravely, that a blend could redefine what success looks like.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit audacious, as you said. The journalist, de Koning, he admits right up front, it's unlikely BaaBaa coach Rassie Erasmus will ever take advice from a journalist. Okay, fair enough. He acknowledges Erasmus has his own creativity, his own master plan for a winning start. We know that. But de Koning still puts forward his theoretical BaaBaa Boks XV, a kind of dream team. Designed not just to win, but to justify that top billing at Cape Town Stadium. It's more than just fantasy rugby. It feels like a blueprint, a challenge, maybe.
Exactly. And this selection, it's not just random names. He's based it on Erasmus's actual name squad, focusing on players who are fit, who are genuinely available. So there's some realism there. And it's a very deliberate mix. For the entertainment, creative backs, guys who can light things up, run, offload. But crucially, the forwards he picks aren't just for bulk and brute force. They also need the skills for an expansive game plan. Russ. So quick offloads, supporting wider attacks, keeping defenses guessing, not just grinding it out up front. It's about how they win, making it a spectacle, pushing past just the result to create something, memorable.
Right. Let's get into some specifics of the players that really show this vision. He names young Ethan Hooker as a bolter, a real promising talent. Suggests him for the wing, even though he might be an outside center long-term. The idea being he's guided by experienced heads around him, like Fassi, Creel, Willemse. It's that mix again, youth and experience. And it's not just the backs, forward bolters. Vincent Chituka and Asanathi Natlabakanye, bringing in fresh energy.
Yeah, and those forward bolters, particularly Chituka, they bring that athleticism, that ability to play in space. It fits perfectly with that expansive idea. They offer mobility, handling skills. It complements the traditional Boks power. It doesn't replace it.
This youth is balanced, meticulously balanced by the captaincy. Sia Khaleesi, obviously iconic, plus other world-class guys, Jasper Wise, Malcolm Marks. That ensures the backbone is there. Leadership, physicality, proven performance. And the halfbacks. This is interesting. The maverick skill of Satya Feinberg-Munga Mazulu paired with the calming head of Grant Williams. Maverick skill. He needs someone who could pull something out of nothing, right?
Right.
Unpredictable brilliance. And Williams is the controller. Precision, steady hand. It sounds like a fascinating mix. Structure and spontaneity. Well, even listening, is that pairing the key? That kind of combo to get both brutality and entertainment.
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, that halfback pairing, it suggests controlled unpredictability, maybe.
Yep.
A team that can execute precise plans but also has the flair, the spontaneity to adapt, create under pressure. That blend of young bolters and seasoned pros like Khaleesi, Marks, Wise, it's aiming for both future growth and immediate impact. It really feels like a carefully thought out roster trying to deliver on that promise. Brutal and entertaining. And maybe this isn't just about one match, you know? It's about winning hearts in a crowded sports market. That's a long-term strategy, too. It shows awareness that fan engagement goes beyond just the scoreboard these days. It's vital for the sport's health.
It is interesting, though, that Deconing himself says Erasmus probably won't take the advice. So does that make this whole BaaBaa Boks thing just like a fun thought experiment, or does it do something more in the, the public conversation about rugby, maybe pushes things along? And look, if you're finding this interesting, this kind of deep dive, remember to subscribe to Rugby Obsession. We do more analyses like this, challenging the norm.
That's a really good point. Even if it's not adopted exactly, these kinds of dream teams, these opinion pieces, they're actually a vital part of the whole rugby conversation. They spark debate, right, among fans, pundits. They might nudge coaches, even subconsciously, to consider different options. They highlight players, tactics, things that might otherwise get missed. It's how new ideas sometimes start to filter through, even indirectly.
Yeah, makes sense. And this vision for the Springboks, it's not happening in isolation, is it? It taps into questions being asked across the whole global rugby scene. Our sources really pull back to show how huge that landscape is. All the big tournaments. You've got the European Cup, Premiership, URC, Super Rugby, Six Nations, Currie Cup, the World Cup, obviously, Rugby Championship, the Lions Tours. It just underlines how connected everything is. Styles influence each other. Player movement, fan expectations.
Exactly. That global picture isn't just background noise. It's the stage where ideas like the BaaBaa Boks might actually inspire trends. When you see players from Argentina, Wales, everywhere, playing in all these different leagues, the idea of blending styles becomes more, well, relevant. It's about building a team that wins, sure, but maybe also excites a global audience that sees all kinds of rugby. And the source even mentions the growth areas like women's rugby, sevens rugby, showing the sport keeps evolving beyond just the men's 15s game, broadening what rugby even means.
The article also gives a little snapshot of what else is buzzing in rugby right now, beyond just this potential matchup. Things like Jake White's future revealed, or the band of brothers back together since the 2019 World Cup. It hints at those ongoing stories, the coaching changes, team dynamics, reunions. That stuff really hooks fans, doesn't it? And even mentions replays of classic games like England-France or that 97 Box vs. Lions series, and documentaries like Wallabies All In. It really shows the passion, the depth of it.
Absolutely. And what stands out is how one specific opinion piece, like this BaaBaa Boks idea, it can actually open up a much bigger conversation about the sport's past, its present, its future. It's not just who plays, it's the stories that grip people. Player brilliance, yes, but also coaching decisions, team legacies. It suggests maybe that pursuit of entertainment isn't just about fancy steps, it's about crafting compelling narratives for the whole rugby community. It's a good reminder, rugby is way more than just 80 minutes. It's a living story, always evolving.
So we've taken you on a deep dive into one journalist's pretty fascinating, maybe challenging take on the Springboks. We've seen how one article can give us a really deep strategic insight into the game. It's clearly about more than just players. It's about philosophy, that tension between entertaining and just winning, and the bold ideas shaping the sports we love.
Which leaves a really important question for you to think about after this. In today's game, how crucial is that blend? Winning capability and captivating performance. For long-term success, for appeal, and how much sway do these outside voices, these dream teams, actually have on the real master plans of top coaches? What do you think of the BaaBaa Boks idea specifically? Could those players deliver that brutal entertainment? We'd genuinely love to hear your opinions.
Thank you so much for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you don't miss our next one. We look forward to you listening to our next episode.